1, 2, 3. USA!
They call Ned Crotty needles. They might as well call Paul Rabel pins and Mike Lavelle thread. The three Team USA lacrosse players wove magic Saturday in a 12-10 victory over Canada, the team that dethroned the U.S. in 2006. It started with the explosiveness of Rabel. Number 99 went off for 3 goals early to spark Team USA to an 8-4 lead. It continued with the consistency of Lavelle, maybe the team's most valuable player in Manchester, and it ended with Crotty. He single-handedly turned a 10-9 deficit into an 11-10 U.S. lead.
Just happy to hit my name call and get to be able to go out there and play in this environment. I've played obviously for a national championship and Final Fours, but to play for a world championship in front of a crowd like this was just something I was really anxious to do. I got a couple runs in the beginning of the game, and then it got a little close. Went to Paul and those guys, and then finally gave me a call in the fourth quarter, and I just made the most of my opportunities. I joked with Coach A at the end. I was like, do you think he was planning on taking those shots, or do you think he just didn't realize how big of a stage? I was like, does he have ice in his veins, or does he not realize how big of a stage? And I think he's like, I think it was a little bit of both. And I think he was aggressive. I think that it was a great lane at the end. I was trying to cut that lane, and then my guy stayed and pushed, and the next thing you know, Ned filled, and it was a great find by Mike Lavelle. It's a super feed, and he just buried it. And then at the end, the high bounces from the crease, just to have the gumption to take that shot, it says a lot about the player he is and the confidence he has, and obviously he was riding high from the previous goal. So he's been a big part of the team from day one, so we're not surprised by anything he does, but for him to step up on this stage, couldn't be prouder of him as a player and a person.
Crotty, the 2010 Tewaaraton Trophy winner who led Duke to its first NCAA championship this spring, is one of 3 former Duke players on the U.S. team roster. Co-captain Kevin Cassis and midfielder Matt Zash are the others. Crotty was a freshman, Zash was a senior, and Cassis was an assistant coach in 2006 when false rape allegations beset the Duke program. They reunited this summer with Team USA head coach Mike Pressler, who was forced to resign during the fallout in Durham.
I never got a chance to really coach Ned. I had him for half a year and never really had to get a chance to be with him. And I said, Ned, we're going to enjoy these months together and try to make up for the 4 years that we didn't get a chance to do the thing together. And Ned became Ned today in the fourth quarter. I mean, when we needed him the most, his athleticism, his ability to change direction, and his poise on the doorstep was critical for us down the road. And then Matt Zash and Kevin Cassis are 2 of my old guys, so to speak. And for Kevin, this was the end of the line for him. He came back to win a gold and end his career, and he did. And Matt Zash as well. I don't know if Matt ever plays again. He might, but to end his career if he chooses, those 2 guys in particular, and 2 great role players. And that's when we picked this team, as you know, it was all about not, quote, the best players, but the best players in certain roles to make us the best team. And as you saw today, that proved to be true.
For a while, it looked like the Canadians might spoil Pressler's rebuilding project. They blanked the U.S. in the third quarter and stormed back to take a 9-8 lead on a goal by Zach Greer in the fourth. Canada had a chance to stick a fork in Team USA on an ensuing man-up, but goalie Brian Doherty made a high save on Kevin Huntley and then sprawled to save the rebound. It was the last game of Doc's storied career between the pipes.
Sitting here with this thing wrapped around my back, it's for your country, and it's something that they had, that we needed to get back, and putting all that together, being my last game, this is a lot of stuff going on here.
The doctor, I mean, he had some incredible saves today. He brings such an incredible energy. I don't think he gets enough credit for being the leader that he is, both on and off the field and in the huddles, and it felt good being back on his side, certainly.
Brendan Mundorf rewarded Doc by tying the game with 12 minutes left. Team USA killer John Grant Jr. answered for Canada. Dunking this goal on Doherty put the Canadians back up by 1 with less than 10 minutes left. That's when Crotty took over. The team's youngest player made the biggest plays. Once Crotty gave them the lead, the Americans refused to yield. Lavelle scored on an empty net, and after the final chaotic minutes of intrigue, Team USA was world champion once again.
A lot of credit to that USA team. They're pretty persistent and a lot of character over there, and very well deserved.
When the game ended and the celebration cleared, Crotty sought out Pressler for a long overdue embrace.
You know, he said that we never got to do this. Obviously, our time together was cut short, but you know, I don't know if there's any way to make up for it, but doing this is pretty damn close.